I am privileged to take you through classification 2. Before we continue with classification 2, learners, let's review on classification 1. So, what is classification? Classification is the orderly grouping of living organisms on the basis of their characteristics they share in common. Orderly grouping of living organisms on the basis of characteristics they share in common. In classification 1, we went ahead to state the reasons why we carry out classification. Reasons for classification. The reason number 1 for carrying out classification was to identify living organisms in the correct groups for future reference. What does this mean, learner? It means that organisms will be kept in groups in which they fit with common characteristics. Another reason why we are studying classification, grouping brings together living organisms which have similar characteristics, but it separates those with different features. Another reason for classification, learners, is to bring information of organisms to avoid chaos and confusion in future. That is a review on classification 1, learners, and today we are going to start on classification 2, that is Form 3 work. Before we continue, let's remind ourselves the taxonomic units of classification. Our first taxonomic unit was kingdom, which is the highest and the largest taxonomic unit. That is kingdom number 1. We have the second one, which is the phylum or the division. Our third taxonomic unit is the class. Our fourth one is order. Our fifth is family. Our sixth taxonomic unit is the genus. And finally, we have the least taxonomic unit, which is the species. Our key interest today, learners, will be on the kingdom. We learned in classification 1 that we have 5 kingdoms in biology, which we study in broad. We have 5 kingdoms. The first kingdom is kingdom Monera. Learners, I would like you to pay attention to spellings. Since in biology we are very keen to spellings, that is including singular and plural. Our first kingdom was kingdom Monera. Second kingdom, we have kingdom Protocista. Our third kingdom, we have kingdom Fungi. Our fourth, we have kingdom Plantae. Not, learners, it is kingdom Plantae, not kingdom plants or any other thing, not the spellings. Our last kingdom is kingdom Animalia. Learners, today we are going to focus on kingdom Animalia. In this kingdom, it is where you and I belong. We are under kingdom Animalia. At this level, in secondary level, we only study 2 phylums in kingdom Animalia. We study only 2 phylums under kingdom Animalia. One is a phylum when there are many we refer to them as phyla. So we have two phylas under kingdom Animalia. We have Phylum Arthropoda and we have Phylum Chordata. Those are the two key phylums which we deal with in classification 2 under kingdom Animalia. Our key interest today will be Phylum Arthropoda. Phylum Arthropoda. That is what we are going to major on today, learners. Learners, remember to check on the spellings for arthropoda. Remember to check on the spellings for arthropoda. The AR should appear. AR should appear. Remember that. When you miss writing the R, it becomes something which is totally different and it will be ignored in our biology exams. So under Phylum Arthropoda, before we even continue, learners, remember animals have specific characteristics. Some of the characteristics of animals include the general characteristics of living organisms include they are multicellular. This means they have a couple of cells. Then another one, animals have cells which lack a cell wall. This is to mean that when we were doing the cell in Form 1, we went ahead to say that when we compare an animal cell and a plant cell, we found that an animal cell lacks a cell wall, but a plant cell has a cell wall. Under Phylum Arthropoda, the general characteristics are as follows. The first characteristic is they have jointed appendages. The Phylum Arthropoda, first characteristic, they have jointed appendages. I will discuss this more as we deal with the classes. They have the jointed appendages. Another characteristic is their body is covered with hardened exoskeleton made of chitin. Their body is covered with an exoskeleton made of chitin. This means that they have an exoskeleton is the skeleton which is found on the outside of a living organism. They also have segmented bodies. Segmented bodies, it means their bodies are separated into parts which are joined together to form a tube. Then we have that their bodies are also divided into parts. It can be 3 parts or 4 parts. Another characteristic also under the Phylum Arthropoda, they have bilateral symmetry. What does this mean, learners? It means that their body can be divided into 2 equal parts. It can be divided into 2 equal parts. Another key characteristics which we will consider is the mode of reproduction in Phylum Arthropoda is sexual. It is mainly sexual. And they also experience they have an open circulatory system. Those are the general characteristics under Phylum Arthropoda. And under Phylum Arthropoda, we have some classes which are found inside there. We have 5 classes, learners. 5 classes. Remember, under hierarchy, under the taxonomic units, we started with the kingdom and this kingdom Animalia. We went to the phylum, and phylum we are saying is the Phylum Arthropoda. Under the Phylum Arthropoda, we have 5 classes, and these classes are divided on the 3 bases. The first basis is the number of legs. Number of legs. Learners, A living organism can have a couple number of legs. Either it can have 3 pairs of legs, 4 pairs of legs. Another characteristic which we refer to as, we consider in Phylum Arthropoda is the presence and the number of antennae. As we dig deep in these classes of Phylum Arthropoda, we will find that some animals, some living organisms have an antennae, others lack an antennae, some have 2 pairs of antennae or more than 2 pairs of antennae. Now, another basis we consider under Phylum Arthropoda is the number of body parts. The body parts can either be 2 body parts or 3 body parts, depending on the class which we are discussing. Learners, welcome to our classes in Phylum Arthropoda. We have 5 classes and we are going to start with one referred to as class Arachnida. Class Arachnida. So, under class Arachnida, that is our first class, class Arachnida. Let's give examples of animals under this class. We have living organisms like scorpions, the ticks, and the spiders. They are found under class Arachnida. Learners, I hope you can figure out a diagram on a spider. This is something which you might have seen in your homes or in your environment. A spider, maybe a mite, or a scorpion. When we look at the diagram or a specimen on the spider or a tick or a scorpion, we will find out the following characteristics. These animals have 2 body parts. What does this mean? It means that the 2 body parts are the cephalothorax and the abdomen. The cephalothorax is formed when the head and the thorax fuse together. They form the cephalothorax. Now, the class Arachnida have 2 body parts. The 2 body parts are the cephalothorax and the abdomen. They have 4 pairs of legs which have toothed claws. 4 pairs of legs. This means they have 8 walking legs. We have another characteristic. When you observe a scorpion or observe a spider, they lack the antennae. This is a basis which we consider when we are classifying animals under Phylum Arthropoda. Gaseous exchange in class Arachnida takes place through the buccal and the tracheal system. These animals are carnivorous. Remember a scorpion? They are carnivorous and they usually paralyze their prey using poison. Some of you might have experienced a scorpion bite or a spider bite. These animals tend to have poison in their claws. We'll continue on another class, that is class Crustacea. Class Crustacea, examples of animals found under this class, these are mostly marine animals such as the crayfish, the crabs, the lobsters. We have some prawns and shrimps. Examples, we have the crabs, the crayfish, the prawns, and the shrimps. They are mostly found in the marine environment. Now, these animals tend to have the following characteristics. They tend to have the following characteristic. They have the cephalothorax too, just as we said in Arachnida. Arachnida, they have the cephalothorax, and also Crustacea, they have the cephalothorax. But their cephalothorax is special because it is covered by an hardened material referred to as the carapace. Their cephalothorax is covered with a hardened material, that is the carapace. Another characteristic under the class Crustacea they have 2 pairs of antennae. They are a special class. They have 2 pairs of antennae. Then they have a pair of compound eyes. Remember, they have a pair of compound eyes. And what makes them more special when we differentiate them with other classes is they have 5 or more pairs of limbs. They have 5 or more pairs of limbs. It means that these limbs they are modified to do various functions, such as we have locomotion, we have feeding, and we also have defense. Learners, remember that the cephalothorax under this class Crustacea is covered with a carapace. That is a key characteristic which distinguishes this class. Our third class is class Chilopoda. Class Chilopoda. Class Chilopoda. Let's first give examples of living organisms under this class. Living organisms under this class are the centipedes. The centipedes. The centipedes. We will draw an example or a diagram of a centipede so that we analyze the characteristics together with you learners. Also, you can see the diagram which is presented to you of a centipede. The centipedes under class Chilopoda tend to have the following characteristics. They have 2 body parts. These animals tend to have 2 body parts. That is the head and the trunk. The head and the trunk. So in front here is the head, and what is left is the trunk. They have 2 body parts, the head and the trunk. Another characteristics for class Chilopoda, which we are saying is the centipede, is they have 1 pair of leg per segment. What does this mean? Remember, we said under Phylum Arthropoda, their body are segmented. They are divided into parts. In each segment of a centipede, we have 1 pair of leg. 1 pair of leg. Another characteristic is they have 1 pair of long antennae. In front there, near the head, we have long pair of antennae. Another one is the centipede, they have poisonous claws, and their segments can be between 15 to 21. 15 to 21 depending. Another thing to consider under class Chilopoda, and if learners you will tend to forget, remember for C we have C, that is centipede. We have another special class which we are going to look at, which might confuse you. That's why I'm giving you a trick to remember. Chilopoda starts with a C, and the example is the centipede. That is a key organism to remember under that class. Now, let's go to another key class under Phylum Arthropoda. Remember, learners, we said that we are going to look at all the classes under Phylum Arthropoda in which we have already mentioned a couple of them, starting with class Arachnida, we went to class Crustacea, and on class Chilopoda, and we are going forth to another class, that is class Diplopoda. It almost resembles the class Chilopoda, class Diplopoda. A good example is the millipede. A good example is the millipede. The millipedes tend to differ. You can differentiate them from a centipede with the following characteristics. Class Diplopoda, an example is the millipede. They have a cylindrical body. When you look at a millipede, the specimen, their body has rings to form a cylinder. So they have a cylindrical body. That is the first characteristic. Another one is, when you look at a centipede and a millipede, they differ in terms of the number of legs. You will find that millipedes have many legs compared to the centipede. Now, let's structure a millipede here, and we will see how it differs from the centipede. We said the body is cylindrical. And another characteristic which we are going to mention is the millipedes, they have 2 pairs of leg per segment. One segment here will have 2 pairs of legs. They have 2 pairs of leg per segment. Another characteristic is they have a short antennae. Short antennae as compared to the centipedes which have long antennae. Millipedes have a short antennae. Another differentiating characteristic is you will find that the millipedes are quite long compared to the centipede, and they have almost from 9 to 100 segments. 9 to 100 segments, making them a bit longer as compared to centipedes under the class Chilopoda. For millipedes, they are special. They have 3 body parts. 3 body parts. I am going to show you these body parts. We have the head in front here, followed by the thorax, which is quite small, the thorax. Then the other part is the trunk. So a millipede has 3 body parts: the head, the thorax, and the trunk. That is under class Diplopoda. We are going to finalize on our last class under Phylum Arthropoda. This is a class which most of you will have many characteristics to tell me. Class Insecta. Back then in primary, we used to do much of class Insecta, and examples of animals under this class are, for example, a housefly. There are many types of insects. Remember to write class Insecta, not class insect. Example is a housefly. We have an ant, we have a bee, we have a beetle, and other many insects. This is a wide class because it has most of the living organism. The characteristics are as follows. They have 3 body parts. They have 3 body parts. That is the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. What we used to sing along in primary. Head, the thorax, and the abdomen. They have 1 pair of antennae. 1 pair of antennae. only one pair of antennae. One pair of antennae. They have one pair of the compound eyes and many simple eyes. One pair of compound eyes and many simple eyes. Another characteristic which will be very evident when you see a housefly even now is it might have one or two pairs of wings. They usually have one or two pairs of wings. This makes them a special class. Remember, learners, when we are discussing the class Arachnida, we found that for a scorpion, it lacks the what? The wings. But for class Insecta, they can either have a pair of wings or two pairs of wings. Another characteristic is they tend to experience gaseous exchange through the tracheal system. They experience gaseous exchange through the tracheal system, and they have a waterproof exoskeleton. The exoskeleton is waterproof. It means that even if they fall inside the water, the exoskeleton will not absorb any water. It is waterproof. Then they breathe through the spiracles. They breathe through the spiracles. When you observe a housefly, it has 3 pairs of legs. That means it has 6 walking legs. They have 3 pairs of legs. Now, for class Insecta, what we say is 3 body parts, 3 pairs of leg, 1 or 2 pairs of wings, and they usually experience gaseous exchange through the tracheal system. Learners, we are going to look at these classes once more and summarize them. We introduced by saying that Kingdom Animalia is divided into two key phylums. That is the Phylum Arthropoda and the Phylum Chordata. Learners, we are under this kingdom, but we belong to a different phylum which we will cover in other classes. But our interest for today was the Phylum Arthropoda, which we mentioned to have the following classes as we summarize. We started by discussing class Arachnida. Class Arachnida, we say this is a class which contains the spiders, it also contains the scorpions and other organisms, and the key characteristic is they lack the antennae, they also lack the wings, and they tend to have 2 body parts. The 2 body parts were the cephalothorax and the abdomen. Learners, remember too, when we are creating a dichotomous scheme, we usually consider these characteristics so that we can differentiate an organism from another. The arachnidas have 2 body parts, the cephalothorax and the abdomen. And they have the 4 pairs of legs, and these legs tend to have toothed claws. They tend to have the toothed claws. We went ahead to discuss another class, that is class Crustacea. The class Crustacea, we said that it has organisms which mostly belong to the marine. The marine, and a few are terrestrial, and they are found in the moist places. Examples, we said the crabs, the crayfish, the lobsters, and the prawns. These are examples under these classes. We went ahead and gave characteristic. A good characteristic which is differentiating from other classes is they have a pair. They have 2 pairs of antennae, unlike other organisms. They have 2 pairs of antennae, unlike other living organisms which have 1 pair of antennae or they lack an antennae. This class is special because it has the 2 pairs of antennae. We went ahead to say that in order for us not to forget anything about class Crustacea, they have 5 or more pairs of limbs. These limbs are different. They are modified to perform many functions such as locomotion, that is movement, such as feeding and what have you. The spellings is key. The spelling is key. Remember, we usually consider spellings in biology since it is a scientific skill. Another key question which we tend to ask under the Phylum Arthropoda is differentiate class Chilopoda and class Diplopoda. When you are told to differentiate those 2 classes, this is what you are expected to answer, learners. For class Chilopoda, which is said is the centipede, class Chilopoda, we say, example as the centipedes, we say that they have 2 body parts. And for class Diplopoda, we said they have the 3 body parts. In an exam setup, they may tend to ask you differentiate between class Chilopoda and class Diplopoda, or they tell you differentiate between a centipede and a millipede. Now, when we are discussing Chilopoda, we say that it has 2 body parts. The 2 body parts were the cephalothorax and the trunk. But for the Diplopoda, we went ahead to say that it has the 3 body parts, which is the head, the thorax, and the trunk. Another key differentiating characteristic under class Chilopoda is the number of legs per segment. The Chilopoda, which are the centipede, tend to have 1 pair of legs per segment, but for the Diplopoda, they have 2 pairs of legs per segment. So Chilopoda, 1 pair of legs per segment. One pair of leg per segment, but for the Diplopoda, they have 2 pairs of leg per segment. Another characteristic which may differentiate the 2 classes, that is Chilopoda and Diplopoda, is the presence of poison claws. The centipedes have the poison claws, and the millipedes, they tend to lack the poison claws. Centipedes have the poison claws, and the millipedes tend to lack the poison claws. Another factor which you can use to differentiate them is the antennae. Both of them have the antennae, but when we look at the antennae, for centipedes, the antennae is long. They have a long antennae. But for the millipedes, they have a short antennae. They have a short antennae. For the number of segments, we said that a centipede is is not as long as a millipede. A millipede is longer. For a centipede, we have between 15 to 21 segments, but for a millipede, we have from 9 to 100 segments. So centipedes have between 15 to 21 segments, which forms their bodies, but for the millipedes, they have between 9 to 100 segments. Those are the key differentiating factors between those classes, class Diplopoda and class Chilopoda. That is a question which is highly tested, and the learners pay attention to differentiating them, because when you do a mix-up by saying maybe a centipede has 3 body parts and a millipede has 2 body parts, your answer will be wrong and it will be cancelled. I will summarize by saying that Phylum Arthropoda is very, very special because of these segmented body, presence of jointed appendages, and their bodies are covered by hardened exoskeleton, which is made of chitin, and they tend to have bilateral symmetry. Bilateral symmetry, we say that, learners, this is whereby the living organism can be divided into 2 equal parts. That is all for today, learners. Remember, we have discussed classification 2, kingdom Animalia, and we have dealt with Phylum Arthropoda and discussed all the classes under Phylum Arthropoda. Class Arachnida, we have class Crustacea, class Chilopoda, class Diplopoda, and we finished on class Insecta. So those are the major classes under Phylum Arthropoda. Thank you for your time, learners, and enjoy your holiday. I will leave you with a few things to review on. Questions, these are questions. You can give 3 differences between class Chilopoda and Diplopoda, and another one is list 3 distinction characteristics of class Arachnida. Thank you for your time.
This program is rated GE. Content carried in here is suitable for general family viewing.
It's not that easy with you here, but I know I want you to stay. See, this could be us in a few years, but just admit you like to play. It's like every day I'm kicking rocks. I could fly away, but you got me at a complete stop. How do you manage to keep me going, but somehow you keep me from going? See, you distract me, but I'm distracted without you. I don't know how to focus, baby, teach me how to. 'Cause I'm standing still again. But if you love me just like the way that I love you, I wouldn't mind a little comforting from you. Why do I let you in my head? And I gotta go sometimes, but you're always on my mind. You're not helping me, you're not helping me, you're not helping me. You're not helping me, you're not helping me, but I helplessly fall for you. Now I'm running late and I'm not a coffee drinker, but I lost sleep just thinking of you. So pour me a cup, I need to wake up, I need me some love, now give it to me. 'Cause everywhere you go, girl, I'll follow you. I'll give you all of me, give me all of you. I gotta go sometimes, but you're always on my mind. See, you distract me, but I'm distracted without you. I don't know how to focus, baby, teach me how to. 'Cause I'm standing still again. 'Cause if you love me just like the way that I love you, I wouldn't mind a little comforting from you. Why do I let you in my head? No. But I gotta go sometimes, but you're always on my mind. You're not helping me, babe. You're not helping me, babe. But I fall helplessly for you, for you. You're not helping me, babe. You're not helping me, babe. But I fall helplessly for you, for you.
On the first page of our story, the future seemed so bright. Then the same turned out so evil. I don't know why I'm still surprised. Even angels